Okay, wow, tonight looks like we got a lot to talk about tonight for Monday Night Raw. What a 24 hours after Money in the Bank. There's gonna be a lot to speak on. A lot of good, a lot of bad, but a very interesting Monday Night Raw, which even I'm gonna say, which was pretty somewhat good tonight on a couple things. A couple things that are a little bit, some say are shocking tonight, given to the news we're going to talk about in a second here. But there was a lot in regards to this show 24 hours after Money in the Bank. This show was taped earlier today, by the way. So, Raw happened, but it happened hours, before, they could go on tonight. But we do kick off Monday Night Raw tonight, though, with a recap of what happened last night in that very insane Money in the Bank corporate ladder insanity match or whatnot. But we kicked it off with Becky Lynch. Becky came out. She had the Money in the Bank briefcase. She didn't have her title for some reason. But, she came out of the briefcase. She put it on a table. And, Becky pretty much said, it's been an emotional night for her, she says. And, the decision makers in the back, and how she asked the decision makers to raise the stakes for Money in the Bank, and that's just what she did. And she talked about how she came into the WWE Performance Center back in 2013. She didn't know anybody, or she was good enough to make it. But why would anybody care about some loudmouth Irish woman? But fans and everyone, that the people did care for her, and they carried her through her shoulders, through history and everything, and that she wanted the fans to hear this first tonight. It was a big announcement that everybody's been talking about. Obviously, I didn't read the internet today, I guess, since I didn't really look at my phone. But she had a big announcement, and she said she's going to have to go away for a while. And I kind of sat there thinking for a second, like, is Becky hurt or something? Because I know we haven't really seen Becky on TV in a while now. I know some say she went off to film that show Billions, and I don't know, several other things going on. So we haven't really seen Becky Lynch ever since they announced Money in the Bank, really. And next thing you know, Asuka comes out and she starts yelling at her in Japanese. Becky pretty much told Asuka, listen, you beat everybody last night, and listen, you beat me when no one else did, okay? And she said, you've been the best wrestler in the world for a long time, and she's glad this is happening for her. Because last night at Money in the Bank, it wasn't for an opportunity. It was for much more. It wasn't for a shot at the title. She opened the briefcase. I guess she opened the code and everything. And the title was inside the briefcase the entire time, apparently. But, like I said, this is taped earlier today, and Money in the Bank was taped 2 weeks ago or so. So it's obviously a different plan now at this point. But, Becky pretty much gave her the title. So Asuka is now the women's champion, and I'm sitting there kind of confused, like, what's going on here? Like, so she's the champion for some reason, and I guess, like I said, Becky has to go away for a while. I'm thinking this is an injury. So Asuka basically ran around, celebrated, climbed on the announce table. I'm the champion, and she got back in the ring, and Becky told her, saying, all right, Asuka, you go on, be a warrior, and I'm gonna go be a mother. So Becky Lynch is pregnant. And Asuka pretty much looked surprised. They hugged each other and, kind of cried a little. Asuka chanted for Becky several times as Becky pretty much took one more time up the entrance ramp as her music played and looked emotional as Asuka celebrated in the ring. So this is shocking news. Really, like I said, I don't know what some people probably reported today, but like I said, I've watched the show tonight, and I was shocked. So, yeah, we will not be seeing Becky Lynch for a very, very long time. I did not really expect it. I actually thought she was injured or something. But, apparently she, like I said, it is confirmed. She is pregnant, and we're not going to be seeing Becky Lynch for a very, very long time. So, I'm sure, like I said, I know there's been a lot of jokes online tonight about, maybe it was Becky that got Seth pregnant, or Becky's the man, she got herself pregnant or something like that. Like I said, all jokes aside, congratulations to both Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. But now there's a lot of questions into all this now. Asuka is the champion. I have no problem with that. That's great. Now, hopefully, they can make her the top woman for a very, very long time now. Because now, since your other top woman is going to be gone for a very, very long time, someone else is going to have to carry the ball now. Now, I know some people have been saying Asuka may just be some placeholder champion for someone bigger. But hopefully, I hope Asuka gets a very long title reign. I hope she does, and it's very dominant. Because honestly, they screwed Asuka for a very long time, and I was happy when she won Money in the Bank last night. I had no problem with that. But now since she's the champion, that makes it even better now. So, for all I know, Asuka could be holding the championship for a long time until possibly whenever Becky comes back. Now, I'm not no fortune teller or no mind reader, but if I had to take a bet when Becky ever comes back, two things I'll bet on. A, most likely next year. Okay, we probably will not see Becky throughout the rest of the year. I'm saying that right now, and I think everybody can agree on that. I know some people may say, she may be back at the end of the year. I highly doubt it, but if I had to take a guess, she will probably be back next year, the night after WrestleMania, or for all I know, maybe the Royal Rumble by next year. Then again, that depends if there's fans by at that time, depending on how long this virus goes, but that may be the case. If Becky is back in that time span. I'm just taking a guess. Don't take it seriously where I'm going, but I'm just taking a wild guess if, whenever she will be back. So, yeah, Becky's going to be gone for a very, very long time. So now you need a new top woman. And like I said before, for all I know, Asuka could be champion over here. We could get an Asuka and Becky rematch by, next year. And I know I'm jumping ahead. I'm skipping very far ahead on this. But I'm just taking a couple of guesses and scenarios to what could happen. So, like I said, I hope Asuka's title reign is great and everything, so we'll see what happens from that. But this was some very shocking news tonight. I'm sure if everybody with Becky Lynch being pregnant and gonna be gone for a very, very long time, and they interviewed her in the back, and multiple wrestlers basically congratulated her, and to say welcome to parenthood. Good to see Rey Mysterio still alive, by the way, after falling off a building. So he is confirmed to be alive and everything. But I will say one thing throughout the night. I know they talked about this basically throughout the entire night, almost 15 minutes. But man, did they have to say Becky. Well, we got to talk about Becky. They talked about her thing more than Undertaker's documentary throughout the entire night, which I know they got to promote that, which is going to, happen on the WWE Network right now and everything. But even I had to say to myself, like, man, we've been telling all night, almost every 15 minutes throughout the show, we've been talking about Becky's pregnant, Becky's pregnant, Becky's pregnant. Okay, we get it, she's pregnant. You don't need to tell me almost every 15 minutes through a 3-hour show, because even I kind of count on, like, man, they have really been hammering this down, everybody, that Becky Lynch is pregnant and everything. So yeah, that's going to be the case with that. But like I said, congrats for her and Seth Rollins, which we'll get into him later on, too. So that is one of the biggest news of the night. Next, though, we have Bobby Lashley versus Humberto Carrillo in a no disqualification match. Basically, this is a brawl, of course. I remember, Humberto picked up a chair, or Lashley picked up a chair, and Humberto ended up kicking him in the face with it. Lashley throwing him across the barricade and the post several times. He tried to hit him with the chair, but he missed. Humberto got a chair and started hitting Lashley several times with it. Then he went for a springboard, but Lashley caught him, put him in a full Nelson for the win. So one thing I am liking nowadays, now they're making Lashley look very dominant. They're booking him to be very strong. Thank God they don't have Lana out there with him. I said this is the Lashley they should have been booking when he first came back to the company, okay? Because they really ruined him ever since he really came back, okay? With all the, just all the stuff they really done with all the silly stuff from Sami Zayn and the Lana or the sisters, anything, just him being a background guy most of the time. So they are building him. And hopefully soon it will be for the WWE title in due time. But they have been booking Lashley very strong, looking very dominant, and I like this. And we're getting into more of him in a second, though. But also, they have the Street Profits. We're going to get a basketball game tonight, folks, with them and the Viking Raiders. So get ready for some silly stuff tonight. A lot of silly stuff. NBA Jam, folks. Let's go with that. But other than them, still talking about the breaking news and everything. They also interviewed Asuka, who was happy to be champion. Kairi Sane came in to basically celebrate with her. So yes, Asuka is the champion right now. And like I said, I've already explained what I've had to explain throughout that. Okay. Next, Almas, Garza, Zelina Vega, and Austin Theory were kind of arguing backstage at one point. For some reason, because Garza ended up coming out against Akira Tozawa, the guy that's in the Cruiserweight tournament, still taking L's on Raw every week, but hey, he is winning in the tournament, so I can't complain that much, even though it doesn't make sense to have this guy on Monday Night Raw. Garza ended up winning with the wing clipper on him, but next thing you know, Austin Theory and all them start arguing with each other. Drew McIntyre just comes out, kicks freaking, Theory and Garza's heads off out of the ring for whatever reason, and then he goes against Almas then, and wow, you would have talked about killing a faction already. Let's triple kill the faction even more. We've already had Drew kill these guys over a week or two ago. Let's have him do it again, folks. So he ends up going against Almas, which was a very good match and all, but we've seen this almost 3 weeks ago, I believe, in Almas one, which actually not Almas, but I remember Drew winning in a shorter time, but Drew wins again. Kicks Almas' head off with a Claymore kick. So yeah, another faction killed. Why is this faction even still together? They've taken more L's than they took in wins, really. So I don't even know where this is going. Drew killed them a couple weeks ago or two. Now he just basically murdered these guys again. Just walks out randomly, just kicks the heads off. Kicks the heads off, goes in a match with Almas, and there you go. But after the match, though, Drew cut a promo then, talking about, that was fun, but he had some important things to talk about. He talked about having Money in the Bank last night, how Seth pretty much freaking brought it last night, but, he was the better man. But then he talked about this whole invitation, this brand-for-brand invitation thing going on. I know they've been saying that the brand split may be stopping soon, I've been hearing about. So a certain SmackDown wrestler or Raw can go to SmackDown, and SmackDown can go to Raw. I don't think this is a wild card thing again, hopefully, but he talked about someone as an opponent he wanted to face, someone that's a terrible human being, everybody hates him. Corbin, he wants to face the King of Waiters himself. Why is this, at least not a title shot, but why Corbin? I don't know. It's hard enough to watch him on SmackDown. Why put him on Raw? So, if he wants to man up, he wants to come to Claymore Country, Claymore City, or the Scottish, or whatever Drew joke he's making out there. Next week, Monday Night Raw, that's going to be the thing. Between Drew... next week. So the challenge has been set. Will Corbin answer the challenge? But apparently, like I said, I guess there's gonna be a match next week. I don't know if this is a wild card rule, like I said before, but now we're inviting people to different shows. I have no idea why, but we'll see what comes from that. Okay. But next thing you know, MVP was talking to Bobby Lashley in the back, talking about what he did tonight. And he says, listen, man, you've been dominant, you've been doing good, you've been looking impressive, you did that full Nelson out there, but, why you facing Humberto, man? Like, why you fighting all these fools and everything? You got people from SmackDown right now fighting for the WWE title. Let me ask you this question. When's the last time you had a WWE title match? Since 2007, and that's when I debuted in 2007. And it's been about 13 years right now, right? So you've been trapped. All right? You need to come back. We need the Lashley back, all right? And he says, when you gonna let that Lashley come back out, huh? When you gonna do that? And then next thing you know, MVP said he had to go for his match. He ran to Lana, saying that, I don't think he's looking for a manager like you anymore. Lashley's looking for a different way. And then Lana just did her over the top yelling. Listen, I am good with MVP managing Lashley. Listen, it worked in TNA, if you remember that. Hey, that's how he got him to the world title to begin with in TNA. And I like that during that time because, Bobby Lashley was not the best talker at that time. I wouldn't say he's the best talker right now, maybe a few years ago, but MVP was always kind of managing for him, and it almost came all believable. And, he's right. When's the last time you had WWE title? So I like the way they are booking Bobby Lashley right now. I like it. And you got MVP back in with him again. Like I said, man, it worked a few years ago back in TNA. If you don't believe me, look it up. And I really believe it can work again right now. And yeah, kick Lana to the curb. We do not need Lana MVP and Lashley, I'm all for that. It's about time we start booking this guy better to look dominant and strong around here than making look like a joke for the past, what? How long has Lashley been back now? For like a year or two now? Good. Build him up. Good. That's what I like. Make him look dominant. Because we're going to get one more part of Lashley before, throughout this show too. But like I said before, MVP managing him, great. Get rid of Lana. Now that's something I like to see on this show. But next though, yes, we get moment of piss. I'm sorry, I mean moment of bliss. Piss, same thing. Honestly, I thought they were on SmackDown, but oh yeah, the titles have to go around. I forget there's even women's tag team titles in general, but they had their moment of piss thing, and they talked about Becky being pregnant 24 hours. 24 hours after Mother's Day, basically. But yeah, very interesting, especially 24 hours after Mother's Day, though. But as they still, kept talking about it, next thing you know, we got a return. The return of the Iconics. So, yeah, two people I really don't want to see. What they haven't been seeing almost, 7 months? Even if there was a crowd was there, would they have given a shit if the Iconics came back? Not really. And they talked about, going for the tag titles or something they were talking about. And then, Cross said, just like the baby in Becky Lynch's stomach, these are our babies, the tag titles. And the Iconics says, you know what? We're not going to fight for the titles right now, but we'll do non-title, okay? So 3 to 4 women I don't already like, and it's already going to be a shit match in general. And, it's funny to me, I said this tonight, so, you can debate on however you want to say about Becky, but, so, the woman that is over had to go, and we got 2 women that have came back now with go away heat, basically. So, you got rid of good one, but we're going to give you 2 shit ones now. Very odd choice, almost like a very odd exchange in a way. We get one woman that was actually good and over for the 2 women that suck. And 3 to 4 of these women sucked, and I didn't really care about this tag match in general. I just know they did some move on Alexa Bliss, so now they get a title shot next week. Hey, they beat them in a non-title match, so if you beat someone in a non-title match, you get a title shot by next week. So there you go. Do I care about the Iconics coming back? Not really. I don't. I don't care. And then again, with Bliss being involved in this match, that's 3 out of 4 motherfuckers I already like already, alright? So I don't see where this was ever gonna get over. It's like I said, one woman's gone, the other 2 you gotta bring back. So that you can say what you can say about Becky, but even I'll have to go on a limb, say at least she was over several times. But next though, they went to Rey Mysterio, who survived his fall, which I guess he fell on the roof behind the secondary roof of the building that was 6 feet, and he tried to get to the briefcase, but Aleister Black landed next to him. So both of these guys are alive. Next thing you go, Seth Rollins shows up, who walks up to Rey Mysterio, and he says, "May the best man win tonight." And he congratulated on him for, becoming a father, because it changes, really changed your life, basically. Mysterio was going to shake his hand, but, Rollins looked at him, and he walked away. Which I think Mysterio said something to Caruso and walked off after that. Next thing you know, they went to R-Truth. I guess he was going to bring back Pretty Ricky. If you remember those segments, they were around, especially with the fake teeth. I remember these segments because I think that's when Truth came back to the company in about 2000 and... I think I remember this segment being on, 2009, 2010, on SmackDown, I think it was. It was during one of those times, I know that. About 2009, 2010 SmackDown with these teeth. And he ended up tagging with Ricochet and Cedric Alexander to go against MVP. Shane Thorne and Brandon Vink, MVP's a little stable. This wasn't really that much of a match. Truth hit... I don't even know what move Truth hit him with, like a pay dirt or the what's up or whatnot on MVP for the win, which it didn't even connect all the way. Next, Bobby Lashley came out, speared Truth, and, pretty much he helped MVP up and everything. Basically said if you want to talk to him, and MVP said yes. So, Lashley basically just, helped MVP up, and now I guess we're going to have, Lashley and MVP, some managing thing. That way, I guess you got to add Shane Thorne and Brandon Vink, some type of stable MVP is going with. I'm not saying it's like the beatdown clan they had back in TNA or anything, but like I said, MVP, managing Lashley, I have no problem with that. Like I said before, at least they are building him up strong than having him look like a freaking joke out here. Some people may not agree with my opinion on Lashley, but this is the Lashley that people wanted. This is the Lashley that people wanted to see. This is the same Lashley we need back from when he was in TNA around 2016, 17, when people were taking this guy as a serious threat. Alright? So that's the Lashley people want to see. You don't like it? Too bad, but this is the dominant force we need to see from Bobby Lashley, alright? But next thing you know, we went to Jinder Mahal, who's being interviewed, talk about returning from surgery after being many months off, and talk about Drew McIntyre becoming the WWE champion. And, he deserves to be respected like Drew, and he's going to be taking a different path than a hero's journey, as he puts it. Next thing you know, they start talking about Undertaker's documentary again, The Last Ride, but they show AJ Styles sitting there with a bucket of popcorn, which he had an Undertaker t-shirt on and I guess gear, and he said this ought to be good. So yeah, this Undertaker AJ Styles feud is still going. Like I said last night, the feud continues between AJ Styles and the Undertaker, because after they played the little trailer again, AJ threw his popcorn on the ground and looked pissed and walked away. So yeah, AJ Styles versus Undertaker. Probably a Boneyard match part 2, or whenever they have a match, like I've said before. Maybe SummerSlam, maybe WrestleMania of next year. I have no idea. But expect to see Undertaker versus AJ Styles again. AJ's got to get his heat back. Next thing you know, they go to Shayna Baszler, who was probably the most savage person on this show tonight, talking about Becky Lynch's pregnancy, saying, how stupid do you have to be to get knocked up while you're the champion? That's not a very bad statement. And she said that, 10 out of 10 mothers will try to convince you that pregnancy didn't ruin their careers. And that, Becky, she became the longest reigning champion and threw it all away just to, house some miserable parasite. And imagine the man being barefoot, fat, while eating some bonbons on the couch. The kid's gonna suck. You know what a father is, right? I rest my case. So, Shayna Baszler, the most savage person on this show. Classic heel stuff. That was great. Loved it. Awesome. Loved it. That was great from Shayna. So that's some grade A heel shit right there. That was great. But what next thing you know, they went to I guess they didn't have audio of this, but I guess Becky was hugging Vince McMahon. I guess Vince was congratulating her in the back, which I'm sure people say Vince is probably losing it because now he just lost his top woman now on Raw, so because she's gonna be gone for a while, but he was congratulating her. But next we went to Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio, two guys that have survived off the roof and can wrestle just fine after getting thrown off a building. Went against Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. Seth Rollins, who looked very disheveled, in a trance. His hair was all messed up. He looked like he hasn't slept in days, or he's just waking up out of bed. And there are two things you could go why Seth Rollins is like this. Either A, because he lost his match to Drew McIntyre and tried to get the WWE title back, failing to. Or B, he's now finding out today he is going to be a dad and possibly maybe regretting that he got her pregnant from either A, he did not put a condom on, or B, he probably fucked her, but, the condom may have broke in the process. So, one of those two things. So, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of jokes for Seth tonight saying, welcome to fatherhood, Seth. The guy is going to be a dad, so he's really looking up. He's a changed man, people. He's looking rough right now. Looking really, really rough. Look like the man, he's changed. He doesn't know what to do with himself now. So, yeah, he lost the title, and now he's finding out he's going to become a dad today. So, Seth's had a very interesting 24 hours. But this tag match was mostly Murphy going against Mysterio and Aleister Black. Seth just stood on the corner. He never responded. He never moved. He just stood there until Rey knocked him. But for some reason, Rollins caught Rey Mysterio doing the 619, throwing him to the ground. The referee then called for disqualification, which made zero sense. I have no idea why there was a DQ for this match. I don't even know why. Did nobody get hit by a weapon? Like, how was that DQ? He just knocked him out the ring. That didn't make sense. But next, Rollins and Murphy start beating up Mysterio and Black. But Rollins told Murphy no. He grabbed Mysterio's face and kind of like pulled his mask up a little, and he put it on the steel steps and just raked his eye back. Like, not raked his eye, but just stuck his eye in the steel steps as blood just like pushed it in there, and he says like, "Come on, Ray, come on," and just like basically trying to murder Rey Mysterio again, I should say. So last night, Ray is thrown off a building. Tonight, he's nearly getting his eye pulled out of his face. So Seth Rollins has he snapped. He is snapped. He's a changed man now. Jesus himself is, he's losing it out there. Or Jim Jones, or, like I said, crazy 24 hours for Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio can't catch a break without almost getting murdered on TV nowadays. And like I said, he just jammed his eye into the steel steps and let him go, and there was blood, and referees and trainers had to come help Rey Mysterio as Seth just still looked crazy walking up the ramp. So great attack by Seth. He looked crazy. You could believe he was crazy out there. Like I said, the guy is he's a changed man. Like I said before, he's had an interesting 24 hours. But as Ray was being treated in the back, Aleister Black was checking on him. Seth Rollins and Murphy came in. Seth kept saying, "Ray, what happened? I don't know what happened out there." So apparently, Seth remembers nothing. I guess because he snapped and he went into a trance. He has no memory for what he did to Rey Mysterio, and just said, "What happened, man? What happened?" Aleister Black looked pissed, but Murphy was in the way. Him and Murphy brawled as he tried to get to Seth. So I'm sure it'll be a match next week between Aleister Black and Seth Rollins. But next thing you know, we went to the Street Profits then. Get ready for some NBA 2K. There's no basketball going on right now. So we had the Street Profits going against the Viking Raiders. So this was going to be a big joke, of course. Basically, it was a blowout game. The Viking Raiders lost mostly every point they had. They only got 2 points to like 74. It says, "Look at the scoreboard, y'all." So I knew white men couldn't jump, but come on, y'all want to smoke. And it was kind of funny. It says, smoking's bad for you, as I think Rowe or Hansen said that. And guess since they lost the game in this blowout move and everything, what was the point of this? You think it was going to get serious, but obviously this is still a joke between the Street Profits. But then, they told the Viking Raiders, "Good game, y'all," and everything, but better luck next time. But the Viking Raiders basically said, "Listen, we let y'all win, okay? We just played around. We could have beat y'all if we wanted to." So they basically threw out the game for them. And then next thing you know, Hansen there just starts throwing straight up threes that this guy should be joining the NBA now at this point. Just shooting 3 for 3 for 3 as the Street Profits looked surprised. Why throw the game? I don't know where this is going, but there's some joke behind this. But I guess they're still coming out the tag titles, but I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of people saying tonight the tag team division is a joke because of this basketball game that they put on. I have no idea where this is going, but even I said, hey, this is the first time WWE's done something related to basketball. If you can go back all the way to the year 2008 when MVP and Matt Hardy were a team and they had all these competitions going on, and at one point they played basketball. Or you can go back to 2008, 2009 when that whole Denver Nugget thing happened against the Lakers, and they had like a 5-on-5 thing where the wrestlers had jerseys on from the Nuggets and the Lakers. So this isn't the first time WWE has tried to step into some basketball realm, or it's probably other things I don't remember right now, but those are two I can come off with the top of my head. Not the best segment in the world, but I have no idea where this is going. But Hansen's got a great shot, man, for the Chicago Bulls one day if he can keep shooting them threes out there. But next they went back to Shayna Baszler, who was shadowboxing. Natalya was pissed, saying, "How dare you disrespect the miracle of motherhood?" Which the minute I saw Natalya, I'm like, "Oh, it's Natalya, whatever, I don't care." And then, Natalya said, "I can't wait to teach you some manners tonight." But Baszler said, "What do you know about motherhood, huh? It's not like you'll ever have a kid. You'll just be added to the Hart Dynasty. The Hart Dynasty is going to die with you, basically. So, like I said, Shayna is the most savage person on this show tonight, which also kills Natalya in this match. It even beat her by a finisher, just kicks her in the face and wins this match, beating Natalya. Come on, it's Natalya, so I'm sure a lot of people aren't really going to care in general because it's Natalya, okay? So, like I said, Baszler at least looks like a beast out here again. I don't know why I just didn't win the title at Mania. I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, but I will say Shayna did look raw, one of the best things on the show. They went to the King of Waiters himself then after that, talking about Money in the Bank, what happened and what he did to what he, had to do by throwing Mysterio and Aleister Black off the roof. But he says he's coming to Drew McIntyre now because Drew McIntyre basically rode his coattails last year when they were part of the Corbin Coalition, folks. But before we end this show tonight, we have Edge and Randy Orton back on the show. Edge was out there talking about, what he did at WrestleMania and everything, but he said WrestleMania is not the end for me, okay? This wasn't going to be a one-time thing. I went after Randy Orton. I did what I have to do, but he said there's still more to fulfill, Edge says. But Randy Orton came out. Bit of a beer from Orton this time, I should say, on him. But Orton came out. He was going to congratulate Edge, saying, "You were the better man," and he left. But, Orton couldn't do it. He says, "You know what? I bit my tongue long enough, all right? Listen, I tried to say you were the better man, but he just couldn't do it. And you know what? Listen, man, you think we'd all go back to, riding up and down the road like we used to back in the day. But, listen, the better man did win in WrestleMania. But the better wrestler did not win in WrestleMania. Because Royal Rumble, you had a whole bunch of guys behind you and everything, even though they were kind of near the finals of the Royal Rumble. But, at WrestleMania, that was the last man standing match, okay? You hit my head with 2 chairs, concerto and everything. Listen, it took you 9 years to come back here. It didn't take me 9 years to get back on my feet, okay? Because that's nearly a decade, all right? And that's a lot of ring rust. Because, hey, man, Royal Rumble and Last Man Standing matches, they're not traditional wrestling matches. And he said Edge doesn't have it in him anymore, okay? And, you just look at the look on your face right now. Because there's doubt, okay? Because, listen, he told Edge, you got all this grit, you got all this passion, which it was kind of funny. Randy Orton's in his gear, and, he's not even wrestling on this show, but getting his show's tapes. I'm sure something happened. But, you got all this passion and everything, but it's not going to knock off that ring rust, okay? WrestleMania, that was different. You were the better man at WrestleMania, but you were not the better wrestler, he says. So, how about this? He's giving him a challenge, and the story writes itself. Backlash. One-on-one, straight-up wrestling match, okay? No type of gimmicks behind all this thing. We're going to have a wrestling match to prove if Edge still has it. And Edge just stared, even tried Caruso and pretty much says, Edge, do you have a response to all this? And the line that got me, which I started laughing, was when she said, if that does happen, this may just be the greatest wrestling match ever. I laughed when she said that, and I don't know who told her that line, but, Edge just, he didn't say nothing as they said at the end, but I laughed when Charlie Caruso said, if this match does happen, it'll be the greatest wrestling match ever. Don't get me wrong, Edge and Randy Orton are great, but come on, there have been times in the past, I'm sure everybody can agree on that, Randy Orton is boring to watch in the ring sometime, and that happens a lot, but he's great, though. Edge, I haven't seen Edge in over 9 years, alright, other than recently of him wrestling. And I'm not saying Edge has never been a bad wrestler, but come on, man, I'm not going to sit here and go off, I'm sure people are going to say, are these guys going to put on, what are y'all, 8, 20 star, whatever star, classic, we're going by stars nowadays, but 5, 6, 7 star match, I don't know. Basically, the reason why I believe they're doing this match, because, A, we put on that crap at WrestleMania, that very long, drawn-out, boring last man standing match. We need to redeem ourselves and have a straight-up regular wrestling match. That's probably why this feud is still going, because I don't even know why this is even still going. Move on. That's why I was a little odd when they kept promoting this throughout the night, saying Edge and Randy Orton are back to continue this feud. Wasn't it done at WrestleMania when Edge squished his head in with a bunch of chairs? Why does it still need to happen? Why? I don't get it. Now, will the match be good? Most likely, yeah. I don't think the match will suck, but this is basically to redeem themselves after what happened at WrestleMania. So we're going to put up a straight up wrestling match. But the greatest wrestling match of all time, I can name nearly 50 matches better than what's coming up for this that can be considered the greatest of all time of a wrestling match, okay? Because Edge and Orton, a straight up wrestling match. No gimmicks, no weapons, none of all that stuff. A straight up wrestling match. The greatest wrestling match of all time, as Charlie Caruso put it. Wow, I think it could be great. It has the potential to be great. But the greatest wrestling match ever? Nah, G, that ain't happening. I don't even know if it could be great if we're going to be looking at this. So, I don't know, okay? I don't know what to come from this. But the Edge and Orton feud obviously continues, okay, folks? This feud is still going to go. But other than that, that's the end of this for Monday Night Raw. This has been a very interesting show tonight. You've had some good, you've had some bad, you've had some stupidness on here. I'm sure the biggest news you could take from tonight was either which I would think was good, or, biggest news things was, of course, the Becky Lynch announcement, Seth Rollins snapping, Savage, Shayna Baszler, maybe Edge and Orton to an extent, dominant Bobby Lashley, with MVP with him now. What else? Those are most of the good things I could say, because I'm sure a lot of the bad is either the Street Profits and Viking Raiders basketball game. Of course, Almas and whatever his whole faction with Vega and them getting murdered again. I don't need to see Corbin on this show. I guess Truth, I don't even know about Truth, but they brought the Pretty Ricky thing back. Yeah, there's some good and bad that this show is all over the place. There's a lot of positives and negatives to all this, okay? So, like I said, there's a lot to say from Monday Night Raw tonight. It really is. There's a lot of things to talk about of what happened, good and bad, but very newsworthy and a lot of changes just going on. Like I said before, the Becky thing, Asuka's the champion now. So, we're going to see what comes from this. We get idiotic stuff like the Iconics being back. That's a big negative if you ask me. So, there are positives and negatives to this show for Monday Night Raw tonight. But, I'm getting this from here. Like I said, tell me what you even thought about this entire show tonight for Raw. Because there's a lot to take from this. From the Becky thing and whatnot. So it's like I said, my opinion in the beginning of it, even though I've kind of threw out some scenarios and everything. It's just, you gotta look at the reality, as some people would say, from this whole, Becky Lynch being pregnant thing. Because if we go look at the reality, there's no timeline when she'll be back, which, like, I'm still probably by next year, but, you don't know when she will be back, or if she will be the same Becky, like she was once before, because listen, there's been women that have been pregnant in wrestling before, but have they ever, kind of bounced back to what, which they once were? I don't know. If you can name somebody, please tell me, and, because I really don't know right now, or, I really don't. I know some people threw out some names, like, what, the Bellas at one point, but then again, Brie Bella was always shit any damn ways, even if you could name from a different company, please ask. Mickey James. That Mickey recovered. I can say that. Wow. You have to give me a list of names of that. But like I said, the reality of all this, there's no telling when Becky Lynch will come back. If it's one thing I have to say about her title reign, I don't think she was as once over as she was at the WrestleMania, of last year, which she was for a minute, but even I kind of thought she was starting to lose steam. So I'm sure a lot of people say when you leave for a while, people will start to miss you and you'll become the shit again, it looks like. But like I said at the beginning of this video, and the beginning, when I talked about the whole Becky thing, there's no telling when or whenever she's going to come back, or she will be the same one. Like I said, I threw out a couple scenarios to take a guess. Like I said, it's not the best guess in the world, but it's a wild guess if I had to predict in the future to what could happen to whenever Becky Lynch does come back after, her pregnancy and everything. So we'll see from this. So like I said before, we're going to need a new top woman now, since your top woman is going to be gone from maternity leave. So Asuka has the ball now. Let's see if they can have her run with it and going back to be the old Asuka, which I like this current Asuka as it is already, but let's just have Asuka go back to killing everybody on this show again, okay? And I'm sure people will be looking forward to seeing Asuka versus, Shayna Baszler and whatnot. But like I said, a very newsworthy edition of Monday Night Raw tonight. There's been a lot to talk about. So yeah, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about this entire Monday Night Raw, because this was very, like I said, a very, very newsworthy show to talk about. And, I've had a lot of opinions on what we have seen tonight in regards to a future of a lot of stuff going on right now. So, like I said, announcements, returns, matches, lots of things going on in this show. But other than that, I'm out of here. Comment, subscribe. Make sure you check out my Money in the Bank 2020 review, which I did last night. There was a lot to talk about that entire insanity of a match and the rest of the show itself. So, yeah. Follow me on Twitter at Hooded9890. Check out any past videos. I've already repeated myself several times. Comment, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. And check out the Money in the Bank 2020 review, which is up online right now. Okay? So, other than that, I am done with this review for the show. I'm out of here. I will see you guys later. We will be back tomorrow night for an Impact review, starting off the Impact #1 contender title tournament right now, okay? So I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.